look now, but the Warriors are the hottest team in the league. Winners of 5 in a row, the Warriors now have the longest active win streak in the NBA after their 104-100 nail-biter of a win against the Mavericks, snapping their 7-game win streak in the process, and holding one of the hottest teams in the league to only 100 points is impressive. While most NBA fans are brushing off the Warriors' recent play, I wouldn't be so quick to dismiss these dudes. With less than 10 games left, they're playing the best basketball of the season, and they're as healthy as you can ask for a veteran team at this point in the year, with Kuminga really being the only one dealing with injuries. By the way, how concerned are we with Kuminga's knee tendonitis? He's missed the last 4 games with knee soreness. Look, I'm not gonna lie, it's a little concerning for me. He's only 21 years old, and for his knee tendonitis to be serious enough for him to sit out this many games during a crucial part of the season, where essentially every game is a must-win, yeah, that's a little bit concerning. But it's been reported Kuminga's good to go against the Rockets, so maybe he's good the rest of the season, and this story eventually becomes a non-story that we forget about. But let me know in the comments what your concern level is for Kuminga's knee tendonitis going forward. While Kuminga's been out, Steve Kerr turned to TJD to start in his place, and the rookie hasn't disappointed. Since his promotion to the starting lineup, over the past 4 games, TJD's averaging 9 points, 10 rebounds, and 2 assists in 28 minutes per game. He's a plus 18 in that span. TJD's been a two-way minutes for Golden State. Not only has he been a great pick-and-roll finisher and vertical threat, but he's been a serious rim returner as well. He's the first legit rim protector and shot blocker the Warriors have had since Andrew Bogut. Having a legit shot blocker behind Draymond anchoring the defense is a game changer. Recently, Draymond's had to be the anchor, the last line of defense, the roamer, the switch defender, and the rebounder boxing out the biggest dude on the court all at once. And while I truly believe Prime Draymond's the most versatile defender of all time, who's one of the very few handful of players throughout history capable of filling all those defensive roles at once, the reality is Draymond's 34 years old, bro. Even though he's still a great defender and still one of the best in the league, he's about 8 years removed from his physical prime. So having a shot blocker behind him while he wreaks havoc as a roamer is essential. Plus, it's less wear and tear on his body, not having to be down low banging and boxing out the biggest dude on the court the entire game. The Draymond TJD defensive pairing has been elite. Ever since the lineup change, Golden State has been shutting teams' water off. The Warriors have a 99.7 defensive rating and a plus 11.5 net rating with Draymond and TJD sharing the court. Those are eye-popping numbers. I know it was some hesitancy from Kerr playing those two together earlier in the season due to them both being non-shooters. He was worried about the offense being too clunky, like it is with the Draymond-Looney pairing. But the main difference between Draymond and Looney and Draymond and TJD is that Trace actually is a spacer. No, he's not a spacer from a shooting perspective, but he is a vertical spacer, which is important. Him being a lob threat and having the ability to be a release valve offensively for Steph and Draymond completely opens up the game. With Looney, teams will help off him and sell out on Steph with no consequence, because Looney isn't a threat to shoot or finish at the rim. Well, when you replace that non-threat with TJD, who can and will dunk on your head if you play off him and give him a runway to the rim, that completely changes the coverages teams can deploy against the Warriors, and mainly Steph. Now, all of a sudden, when teams commit 2 defenders to Steph on a pick and roll, Golden State has someone he can drop the ball off to roll into the basket that can finish above the rim and punish teams for selling out on Steph. TJD's probably one of the best athletes in the league at the center position. I mean, how many people are capable of doing this to 7'4" Victor Wembanyama? When everyone's healthy, who should start? TJD or Kuminga? This is a tough one for me. Kuminga is now the Warriors' second option, and he's thriving in that role, so bringing him off the bench and switching up his role doesn't seem ideal. But at the same time, you can't ignore TJD's impact on the starting unit next to Draymond. It's a tough call, but at this point, with how well he stabilized the defense and how well he's played, I don't think you could take TJD out of the starting lineup. I will continue to start TJD and Wiggins and bring JK off the bench to see how it goes. JK will still be empowered as a second option and will still play 30 plus minutes a game with the opportunity to close. Going into next season though, I think regardless of what position you put him at, Kuminga's your starter going forward, and you just figure it out around him, Steph, and Draymond. Speaking of Draymond, Dre had me hot last week when he got ejected 4 minutes into the Magic game. When it happened, I couldn't believe it, bruh. He let his team down again because he couldn't control his emotions. Luckily, the Warriors managed to win that game without him, so it's not as big of a story as it would have been had they lost. But regardless of them winning or not, what he did was selfish. It's as simple as that. But the past few games since, Draymond's been balling. He put on a defensive masterclass versus the Spurs last game, and had this insane Game 7 block on Gafford versus the Mavs. As annoying as Draymond is, and as tired as I am with his antics, the reality is, he's still an extremely valuable player, especially to Golden State, and the Warriors don't have the means to replace him if they decide to move on. So they're just gonna have to ride this out and hope this dude doesn't sabotage the season even further, because his antics are the reason the Warriors are currently in the 10th seed fighting for their lives just to stay in the play-in. Anyways, that's all I got for y'all. And my apologies for the lack of uploads this past few weeks. I'm not trying to use it as an excuse, but I've been dealing with a lot of personal stuff, so my attention's been focused elsewhere. But hey man, that's life. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button. I'm less than 300 subs away from monetization, and it would mean a lot to me to hit that milestone. I'll holler at you on the next one. Peace.